This conference will now be recorded.
All right, so happy Monday, everyone. Today is Monday, April 27th, and as always, everything that we're going to be talking about today is for educational purposes only, and nothing is intended as any type of investment advice. So like I said before, things are definitely looking a little bit slow coming into the pre-market. I mean, we got a few things going on out there, but a lot of things just kind of floating around a bit. So one of the first things looking at is AVDL, and the reason that I like this, now, first of all, obviously go out there and make sure that you get short shares of this, because more than likely, based off the show of hand that we got here at 1350, we're going to be looking for this thing to come back from where it came from. Reason being behind it is because it just had moved up on pretty much nothing whatsoever. Now the orders are very thin, so you can see it. The only problem that I have here is that the way that it's trading in the pre-market right now, if it opens up this way, we're not even going to see over 100,000 shares in volume. So that's the one issue that I do have with it coming in, because it's just not trading that fluently. But that just goes to show you the difficulty of trade that actually came into these prints that came in between 1350 and then again at 1310 and 1305 and so on and so forth. So overall, I'm going to be looking at 844. If we go back to really, technically it would be 845. When we go back over, it did pull up about 80 cents, 75 cents. Now, it was very, very quick, but at the same time, it did. So, I wouldn't be shocked to see it just kind of, just take that downturn right away once the market opens, just because of the fact, once again, there's just nothing behind it. That gap from 983 is just, it just hasn't shown anything to really get us, keep going. And then there's been no prints whatsoever. When we come up to that 15, you can see one print at 1550. The rest of it was just absolute garbage. So yeah, that's our game plan on AVDL as it runs away. All right, moving along, Naked, NAKD. So the one thing that we have with this is it needs to hold this one. So one thing, if we come back and look at all the prints back here, you can see as it was getting towards highs, just almost all purple and yellow prints. So we didn't really get much that showed us anything, basically about $1.50 and up. But if we look at the $1.50 point, you could see right underneath it, it definitely gave, a bunch, and it doesn't look like that many shares were actually able to even get out as this thing was coming back down. So it still definitely has potential. But once again, if it doesn't hold that one, and then obviously, 80, if it breaks 80, then it's just all over. But I really want to see it hold here. And then some type of buying to come in, because it just hasn't shown really the best prints. It's very mixed, but that's kind of been almost everything that we've been seeing going on out there. Next thing looking at is NAT, NAT. So NAT, you can see this beautiful print that just came in right here at 682. So definitely a great position being taken right there towards the highs, which is exactly what we want to see. And if we come back over here, you can see another one, just absolutely phenomenal, 858, 673 to 679. So we're already pretty much moving off of those. We're going to need to see a lot more buying that's going to be able to come in to show us that we're going to be able to break 7. But I wouldn't be shocked to see a test 750 just based off the positions that we see, because even though these are huge, the orders are thick, and overall, these are shorter term type prints. So like I said, I wouldn't be shocked to see this thing really kind of break out. The only problem is if it breaks out during the pre-market, most for, the pattern that we typically see is we end up seeing a lot of profit taking once the open comes in. And this thing jumped up a lot on okay volume. It wasn't great though. So, definitely something that we have to keep in mind, although, the move that we just saw, the positions that we're seeing coming in it are definitely very, very bullish. So I like what we got going on there. AXSM is another one that we're going to be looking at. And this is one that I'm going to have the same type of problem with. Okay, and the problem is the fact that the volume is just absolutely horrendous. All right, so I'm a little bit worried that once the market opens, we're really going to see any type of trading, because if you look, it trades under 1 million shares on average. Now, we already have 532,000, so it just needs to carry over. It's definitely going to have more of a personality than it typically does, but it needs to carry over into the open of the market, because if we come back over here, you can see the range is absolutely gigantic, but the prints at 807, so if we come back to here, which would be 808, okay, 114 didn't really look like it was it technically could have gotten out, and then on its way back down to 1450, we did get some selling. So I wouldn't be shocked to see this thing kind of fall. It's up huge, and once again, I just don't see anything. And something of this big, you'd think you'd see some type of real interest coming into it, and it's just, the actual trading has been very, very sporadic. So based off those 114, technically, could they have sold right here underneath 120? Absolutely. Okay, but I just didn't see it. So overall, I am going to be expecting it to go up, but based off of jumping up on nothing, those 1450 prints, after it kind of breaks out from there, I wouldn't be shocked to see this thing come right back down. And obviously, am I expecting it to fill in the gap to 75? No, we're going to have to start with a different point. And we need some type of better show of hand because that 114 technically has already moved $5 up. So we do need to see something else because all the reaction to after that has been selling since. All right, you can say that one bigger print at 116, but other than that, it's pretty much been selling. So got to keep that in mind as well. BYND, another one where we got a nice push, but if we look, I mean, the prints have been okay. We got some selling earlier this morning, 7 o'clock, which is just very, very odd, right around that 112 area. And then if we come back up higher, you can see, you got some decent prints. The 112.40, it's definitely not enough, okay? But it is definitely a difficulty of trade just based off of how thin the actual orders are. And then as we came a little bit higher, you can see 113, 113.61, 114.47. So there is some buying up there compared to how thin the actual orders are. But it's another one where I'm just a little bit worried about how it's going to end up trading. Volume's been great the past few days. It's just very, very sporadic. But as long as we get consistent volume, we get a show of hand, this should be a pretty easy read, one of the easier reads that we would have out there just because of the fact that it doesn't print a huge amount all the time. So when we get a show of hand, it holds a lot more weight than something that gives a show of hand constantly. Now let's move on to our side list, DFFN. So only reason this has to be on the side list is because of price. I actually liked what we saw going on before, but now, unfortunately, it looks like we've been just getting a lot more selling that's been coming into it. But there was some buying. If we come over here, you can see around those 70s area, and if it lets me go back towards the 80, we have a little bit there. It just looks like someone kind of sold off. So the reason, it definitely is on our side list. First of all, price, and then second of all, it doesn't look like we have a lot that's coming in. We could see a little bit of a support here at that 65-cent mark. But really what we need to do is it needs to show buying to come back on. We just don't have that yet, but going to keep an eye on it because it still technically is in a little bit of a bullish, staircase. Because when we come back over here, you can see if you just consolidate it over here, it's actually not that bad. So it does show the ability to trigger up. It's just I haven't seen the prints that really match it yet. And then VSTM. So VSTM's another one where it's on the bottom of my side list, but if we look over here and you see the prints that started to come in, I mean, it's definitely got some potential up above. I mean, if you look right here, 320, that's a lot of buying that came back in. It's kind of pulling back from there. So even though that it's, it's down and it looks very, very ugly, it does have some decent prints up above. I mean, you can see right here underneath 1320, 1318, 1316 to 323, not 13. Okay, and so there's definitely potential. Now, this is really what I like right here, right before 8 o'clock. You see the position here right underneath 3. So we know there's a market maker there, and we know it's going to act as a pretty strong support. So right now is a very good spot to be looking for it to be able to trigger back up towards that buying, and we have the positions there. It's just very ugly looking, but the puzzle actually matches pretty decently. So not a bad one at all. It's just on the bottom of the side list because of the fact that it's not really trading that consistently. All right, guys, anything else out there that I missed? INO from last week. Let's take a look. What do we got going on? Yeah, absolutely. Definitely like everything about it. Beautiful volume, 3.9 million. Let's see what we got prints-wise. Ooh, don't like that, though. Looks like somebody sold off right about after our meeting a bunch of shares in here, which isn't shocking considering the fact that 1550 is 15 is a very hard level to hold. But that's a lot of selling right now. So definitely make sure you try to go out there and get some short shares. I don't see much buying coming into there. So it looks like 15 is going to be very, very hard for this thing to hold. A ton of buying in it still from 13 to 50. Okay, from last week. Okay, makes sense. I mean, jumped up, but I just don't see much coming in right now. So definitely want to see more buying to tell us that we're going to be able to break past this resistance point that we have sitting here right about give or take 1610. But yeah, absolutely. That's a regular stock too. That's not side list. All right, beautiful. So I just want to make a quick announcement. Now, Donna's daughter did have had their baby this weekend. Name is Miles. Both mother and baby are happy. Are happy and healthy. And Donna will be back to normal on Wednesday. So she wanted me to let everybody know she will be here on Wednesday and, just like normal. And DKNG, let's see, reminds me of Donkey Kong. DKNG, I don't see, so I know why you would look at this because the prints are pretty good when we came to that 2150 that first time, but it's just very, very, very sporadic. And I don't know if you're going to be able to get shares. I was looking at this before. I'm just not really sold, and it's a little bit mixed. 2150 selling, buying at 22, which really the buying at 22 means a lot more because of the fact that we can get that move down towards that print line and end up coming back up. But I'll definitely put it on our side list. DKNG. All right, guys, so let's get ready for our morning. Let's make sure that everything that we talked about this weekend, we're focusing on the things that are going to greatly affect our trading the most, okay? Let's make sure we're focusing on certain setups, on certain things that, are going to help our trades today. All right, guys, I will talk to everyone in the chat, and happy trading.